Welcome back to another episode of Boys Love Kingdom Legendary War. This week we are recapping episode, was it 7? 7 of the show.
Round 1 of...
Nope.
Part 1 of round 3. Fight.
Well, and this is part 1 of part 1.
Part 1 of part 1.
We didn't even finish part 1. Girl. It's a hat on a hat on a hat.
Last week we did enjoy the sports day.
Were there any highlights? Did you want to shout out any highlights?
Min Hyuk's body.
Min Hyuk vaulting.
Changbin hanging from the top of the vault. Backside showing to the cam.
Okay. See, this Usan moment.
Oh, yeah. This broke us.
What's that about? What's going on there? Journalistic integrity. Just questions we have.
Sure.
That if we have the chance, we'd love to ask, but we will never be afforded that chance, and we're probably on lists at this point. It was a really nice respite from
the competition,
kind of the seriousness of everything so far.
Yeah.
And it was very nice to see...
It's nice to see them get out of these damn tiny-ass dressing rooms.
Get out of the tiny little dressing rooms. It's crazy to me that they film these... I understand they're
it's part of
actual dressing rooms, but it's funny to me that they don't try to make them look interesting.
And it's the
with the amount that they're on television.
And every single mnet show that we've seen is the exact same... dressing rooms.
Because it's like, it is the studio and is the dressing rooms at the studio, which is fine. But like, dressing rooms normally look like that because no one sees them.
Yeah.
So it's weird to put that on TV and then be like, isn't that cool? And like, no, it's not. No one wants to see
Janes.
that.
Yeah.
We're going to start at the top with the scores. Okay?
They share you all of these scores and they don't matter. Because they're not even the combined scores, the actual final rank.
Feel free to, as you edit this, just speed up my voice through this whole thing. And
You're just going to read it?
I'm just going to read it.
I'm going to eat a Rice Krispie treat while you read the point.
Finally, at the very end of the episode, we get the official where everyone is ranked in this competition so far. Okay, so
at the moment,
this is the one that matters. Stray Kids, ateez, btob, ikon, the boyz, and SF9. Okay? And here's what I have to say about this. I do not care. And if you ever genuinely take 20 minutes
off of your program
to explain that was 3 rounds in 20 minutes. 3 rounds of scores in 20 minutes. And none of them truly matter.
Because
I couldn't this is a dereliction of creating television. Could you I have seen results from elections come in more exciting than this. This is the least interesting. This is when it's 6:00 and then Indiana's the first state to submit their results, and it's and Indiana went for the Republican. We know. No, we know. This isn't interesting. No one cares. Stop. This does not need to take 20 minutes. This is if I was creating the show, I understand that we're in the
build
post
tension, build drama, blah, blah, blah.
We're in the post Produce 101 world where there was some flack and there was a lot of drama around that system, right?
The transparency. People want transparency.
They're trying to be more transparent. They're trying to say, here's each individual aspect, and it's scoring.
I almost feel like they're doing it out of spite. They'll be like, oh, they want to see it? Okay, let's make it
let's take a half hour out
Let's
of
make it as abysmal and boring and useless.
Genuinely useless. I mean, I would be embarrassed to make this as television and put it out for people to consume.
I felt embarrassed that our reaction had 25, 30 minutes of just us being like...
And again, we only do it because I want to know contextually what's going on.
Yes.
Like I want to, because
what
it does
in the headspace they're in.
right.
Like,
It doesn't explain anything, and it doesn't change my opinion of any of these groups or anything, but it does explain what they're feeling in the competition and what their narrative on the show is.
Yes.
And so that's why I think we have to watch it. But like, in no world should 3 scores, one of which are scores from round 1, which happened literally
like a month and a half before.
Almost 2 months before. Round 3's theme is no limit.
Yeah.
Limitless. Unlimited.
That's my line.
Part 1 is that they are going to do
combined units
based on skill set, basically. So there'll be a rap battle, and then a dance battle, and then a vocal battle. Okay? Then part 2 is going to be, again, all 6 groups performing another number. This round, there are 33 guest judges. The whole time I was watching it, I was like, they are all seated so far apart from each other. And then I was like, oh yeah, it's COVID. So
they're all like social distanced.
6 feet, 2 groups, 2 official teams. There's the Mayfly team, which consists of Stray Kids, ateez, and btob. And then there's the It's One team, which was last week in episode 6. They were called the I9. And I don't know why they changed it, because I actually thought that name was clever. Which is ikon, SF9, and the boyz. After I've done all of this, after I complained that about taking the top of an episode to explain something, and then I took the top of an episode to explain something.
It's everything.
But I have to table set. That's my job as the recapper. So in It's One rap battle, we have Bobby from ikon, Sunu from the boyz, and Huyoung from SF9. Everyone, Bobby the icon.
The icon.
The own.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bobby.
You know who loves Bobby?
Robert Darling. Sunu.
This whole, I could do... Think of all the time we spent on those stupid scores and how much more time we could have gotten with like...
Sunu being like cute.
Sunu being obsessed with
Bobby, just like doing stuff for them.
Just
like,
all around. Throughout all the rounds, I kept being like, oh my God, I love seeing them interact.
We could have equally divided those 20 minutes into 5-minute increments for extra behind the scenes.
Correct. No, we did not. We were not afforded that luxury.
No.
So Sunu is a huge Bobby fan, very clearly.
Mm-hmm.
I have never, and you can't. There's sometimes where you're like, oh, they're being super polite, and they're like, oh, I really look up to you, and you can kind of tell because it's just like they're very good.
When it's very clear that an idol really idolizes an idol, Fumataemin,
Yuvin-san,
Subin Kara.
Yes.
Just the whole
all of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Ungi Wonder Girls. I know that.
Yeah.
The Taemin ones are like the most
it's very
voracious.
Evident.
Yes. Alan Cravity. Taemin. And we saw him. We saw him at the corner of that KCON stage being like, oh my God, Alan from Cravity wants
He
to
came
go.
out just to watch Taemin. It was incredible. I loved it.
I know that meme of your performance and Show Me the Money or whatever.
Yeah.
That like went super viral.
Yeah.
Like I was one of those girls.
Mm-hmm. And they've all been through. Sunu had been on like a
high school rapper, both him and Hui.
Yes.
Yeah.
So all 3 of them have been on rap
survival shows.
Yeah. Huyoung is. I feel like it's hard because then we're gonna get into the dance round, and I'm gonna talk about Taehyung too. So
we already said this, but I feel like I didn't see any comments of it, so I think we can continue to talk about how fucking gorgeous SF9 is.
Oh, so I did see comments. So they said they know that's what people get into them for, but as long as you can also appreciate that.
Yes.
They're not saying yes. They're not yelling at you. Calm down.
I know. I'm just saying it's my opinion.
They just want people to also then, just like with the boyz, you just want them to also then be like, and they're really good.
And they're really good. Yeah.
And they are.
But we did loop back just Huyoung like fixing his hair multiple times just because he's like just so naturally gorgeous. Just sitting there.
Just sitting there doing nothing.
Not saying a damn word.
Okay. What I found very interesting was during this preparation, Bobby mentions that he is like, I just want to like go out there. I don't want to worry about winning. Yeah. I just want to do what I want to do to have fun.
Yeah.
Which I think is the most evident thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
Ever.
Out of everyone, Bobby's energy is very clear.
Because Bobby has nothing to lose. If they lose the show, but Icon is still Icon. Yeah. Like that, you can't take that away from Icon. Like,
yeah.
And they have nothing to prove. They have nothing to lose.
Totally.
Probably them and btob, I feel like, are the most solid. Like,
yes,
and it just shows for fun,
and it really shows in their personality and in how they like carry themselves. I think there are some members in Icon that are a little bit more competitive. All 3 btob members are like,
but that just feels like they're naturally competitive people, totally. As opposed to being like, well, Icon needs to win this so that people know that Icon's good. They know people know. They're not shocked.
We're walking around
filling
YG.
The stadiums.
Walking around YG like, girl, this is why we're here, girl.
I know. So I have decided I think YG is my favorite of the
building
of the 4.
I mean,
I don't think I've seen much of the SM interior from what I can recall from just like my
looking at the building and then being in the store.
Well, yeah. Well, that store was
that's
boo-boo.
weird because it was like
I did not like that.
We didn't like the SM store.
I mean, it was fine. It was just like weirdly small.
Yeah, it feels like it probably was bigger, and then
right, or at the very least, it should be.
Yeah,
because it was crowded. But anyway, that's not the point of this. I've decided
I think YG is the best building.
I think it's the coolest building.
Yeah, and even the interiors is a little bit more sleek. JYP's interiors, it's a little kitsch. Looking at it, it's a little rainforest cafe.
Why? Why is every room themed?
He loves a theme.
He loves a theme over at JYP. They love a theme. They love a themed space.
Yeah.
And as someone who came from a themed space culture, I understand.
I understand, but it's just funny to be like, oh, this is like one of the leading music producing companies,
and they have like
a
rainforest cafe wallpaper. I like the YG. Okay. I like their little building.
We like the building.
I like the building. I like the
interiors.
Cafeteria. I like the private, like frosted glass room that they were in. I thought that was chic.
Yeah, very chic.
I liked it. Okay.
Okay. Sue me. Us. God.
Huyoung does this really sweet thing. He buys them shoes, so then they end up pooling money together to also get him a pair of shoes. It's very cute. But they decorate the shoes with each other's different like fandom names. It's very sweet.
Yeah.
That's great. All of this is great. Let's talk about the performance.
Yeah.
Because there's not really much else to talk about in the preparation.
Other than, I think like Sunwoo, you said that Sunwoo really needed this. It was very clear that like he had been really affected by just how the boys are performing and not doing as well as they have hoped that they were doing.
Yes.
And this was like, okay, it's your literal idol. And he's telling you like, just have fun. And you can just like be chubby. I mean, like he got his phone number and everything. And they're just like literally doing the thing that he loves to do, which is rap.
Right.
So, and he even talks about it like, our concept, I don't get to do as much. I don't get to go out and just fully do these
he has to fit into the realm of the boys songs, which as we've learned on this show, they're not cute. And
they're not cute.
Sweet.
They're super
evil. They're
dark.
Evil.
Yeah.
Dark
it's a dark
thoughted. They're dark thoughted.
They're a very
boys.
dark group. Yeah.
But when he does rap, it's like within the context of the songs, which are not rap focused.
Yes. Yeah.
Let's say that. And I think him and Eric both do a really good job. And like it was very fun to like know now that like they've been able to like do subunit and stuff and like expand more in that horizon, because I think he is such a talented
He's such a great rapper. My God.
So the song is called Full Dash. It's a new song. So both the rap songs are brand new. They created them for this, obviously. This is interesting because the point of the rap number, it's hard to, I feel like it's hard for us to be like, who is better, right? Only because we are missing a lot of context in terms of like wordplay in Korean.
Right.
That is
Totally.
always going to be like, unless there's like a full dissection. And I
Yeah.
found some online on YouTube because I did go and like watch lyric videos to like see what I'm supposed to be gleaning of like what the song's about, blah, blah, blah. Because I think of the two performances from the rap, from the two rap performances, the second one I would say is clearer in terms of like what it is the point of the song because it's visually articulated as well.
It's more of a performance.
Right. This one I think
this one is like a rap. This is rap.
Yes. So I went through and I watched it. So we're gonna like, I'm sure we're gonna miss context. And I'm sure you're gonna let us know. That's fine. What did you think of this performance?
I felt like it was like a show me the money final performance. Like that little clip that they showed of Bobby that like went viral.
Yeah.
It felt like that kind of performance where they each
3 minutes and 15 seconds.
They each had their own verse and then they came together and their like verses together, like very like lively and like outgoing and like just like I don't give a fuck attitude.
Yeah. So full dash, if you notice, it was like capital D, lowercase a, and then capital S.
And they were
H.
cutting some words from the episode that we watched.
Yeah.
Like censored.
So it's
they're cussing.
It's supposed to be fuck that shit, basically. So there are like actual swear words in the song. Oh my god, crazy. I thought when I went through and looked at the lyrics, I do think the actual challenge is not just to like come up with a rap song because like they're rappers, they can. It is that the challenge is both, can I know what you are like as a rap artist, like what is your thing that you bring to it, and like why I think like the rap line, like for example, the rap line in BTS is very interesting because all three of those rappers have very different styles. And that's why I think that I say this a lot about ateez. Like Hongjoong and Mingi are like diametrically opposed. And I think that's what makes it so fascinating to watch. And like why you're able to have two verses without it feeling like, oh, we're getting another rap verse in this pop song, because like it's not the same energy. So that's like one challenge, is like feeling like you are your own singular vision of rap, but also cohesively there needs to be like a symbiosis of like what are you saying with this song? What is the point? What's the theme? What are you trying to get at? I would say in terms of like, could I hear their different styles? Yes. I thought they did very well in that regard. I thought they framed each of them very differently. And I thought that was really strong. I think for me, Sunwoo and Bobby are the stars of this because Sunwoo just has this manic energy throughout this number that I think it feels like he's finally like, I can finally do the thing that I want to do, and I like doing it. And you can like tell it, like it seeps through the screen. Like it really feels like he's like, this is my chance to show off what I am confident that I am very good at. And he is genuinely very good at this. Bobby, we have said this every single week. I could watch him rap forever because there is this like it's not a laissez-faire, like it doesn't matter. It's not travel into the realm of like mumble rap. Yeah. Where it's like, oh, it doesn't, I'm so bored with this, it doesn't matter. But he's just like enjoying the moment.
It.
He is so dropped into his performance.
It's like second nature to him. It's like in his bones.
It's so enjoyable to watch because you feel like, oh, it's in good hands. You don't feel like he's putting on this air of like, I'm super confident, I'm so good. Like he's just like, I know I'm good. You want to have fun. I'm here to give you fun. Let's have a good time. And it's like, when he comes on to do his thing, it's like, oh, thank God. Thank God. I think Huyoung starts this off really well. And I think there is like a very good like growth to the song. They build up to it. Yeah.
I think Huyoung just, because he says it's like the last time I fully did this was like 2 years ago when I was in that program. Like, when I have not, all of our songs don't really have that heavy of like rap moments. So he probably felt the most like out of touch with being able to do this. But he, you know, like he was still able to like write his lyrics. And what I liked about that I wish they got to do more in this group was explain more about what the rap was about. I feel like the second group did a better job with that, but I think that's just in Three Racha's like bones. Like they're yappers and they like to like, they have a big concept. I wish I kind of knew what their story was behind going into this rap.
Well, that's the thing, is I feel the same way, where I watched it and I was like, I mean, I guess I can kind of get what they're doing.
Yeah, it's like in the attitude, I'm getting it.
I definitely got it from the attitude, but I was like,
I wish they explained,
like,
let's talk, this is why I want to, like, sing this rap.
And it's
because Korean was kind of saying, like, you know, he was, like, his verses mean, like, there's, like, a little bit of jealousy that you, like, feel for other people that are doing well, but, like, I also want to beat them or something like that.
Here's the problem, in my opinion, is... Actually, I would say this whole thing is my opinion. I would say every week you've been watching is my opinion. That they do not do a good job in terms of like cohesively figuring out what their point of view is. Mm-hmm. That being said, they do have a point of view. The point of the view is like, fuck the haters, right? Yeah. Which is very tried, very true in rap. This is practically half of rap is like, fuck everyone who tries to bring me down.
Yeah.
And that's why rap, I think, is so powerful, because it really gets at the heart of the issue that songs have trouble with because they have to sound pretty.
Yes,
rap does not feel beholden to like it feels beholden to a rhythm and a flow.
And rhythm flow and
but
like
not like making sure you melodically sounds nice. So that's why I think like rap is so interesting. I sound like a crazy. I want to be very clear. I understand I'm a white person.
Look at this white man explaining, yes, please tell us more about rap. How does rap work?
This is what I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
But what do the three of you have in common?
Yeah.
Other than these ephemeral people who are like doing
hard
better,
on idols or hard on them.
Or like you try really hard and people are able to like surpass whatever. Like it's too like theoretical.
Yeah.
Because the three of you don't work together. That is what I could not connect to. And I think that's why I was like, it's good. It's very well done. But I didn't connect to the piece.
Me as a white person did not connect to this rap.
Let me explain to you. What is there white explaining?
I agree. There just wasn't a cohesive thing. But I will say, out of all of the behind the scenes, their chemistry felt like the most friendly. Like, I could believe that all three of them would like chill outside of the show.
Sure.
They were I felt like their package was very much rooted in like, they all kind of like understand each other. So that's why I felt like it felt less performance and it felt like they were just three guys freestyling to one another.
Yes. And I think if the challenge was do freestyles, then I would be like, that's incredible. That you came up with that. That's incredible.
Yeah.
But the fact that they like,
it was interesting. I think they purposefully were like, let's strip performance back a little and and really focus on the rap.
Well, it's so funny because the whole show has been this whole thing of every group realizing you have to do a full story. For people to really receive these well.
Yeah.
On this show specifically. Yeah. And they just went the opposite. Completely the opposite.
I really do think there's something with Bobby being like, I don't want to like do the
agree.
thing. I don't want to do it.
I am not saying that like I think Bobby led them astray, but I think that was like Bobby's background in like winning these shows or doing well on these shows.
Is doing his own thing.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't think, unfortunately, that combo matches with what the show has at this point told you as an audience member you have to expect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
So that was a bummer.
I mean
I was good.
Yeah, it's still a good show.
The only thing, my only performance thing, is that there's this point where Bobby puts on his white coat and he just drops the mic for like 2 full bars. And I was like,
no.
What are we doing?
Yeah.
That I was really annoyed about.
It's a little sloppy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mayfly's rap team consists of Bangchan, Han, and Changbin from Stray Kids, Hongjung from ateez, and Minhyuk from btob.
Yes.
Not Penyul.
Not Penyul. So very interesting.
And they get all together. They
go to
hang out at
JYP. They go to the Rainforest
They
Cafe.
go to the Rainbow Room. They go to the They do all of it. They
Rainbow.
Hello.
Hello. That's what it is.
Hello.
Well, first they were like, yeah, it's about painting our colors. Like, be like. I think it's a more positive spin of the fuck the haters, but it's more like we're gonna be so ourselves that like we're just gonna paint all over you or whatever, paint our colors all over the town. Well, it's like making our own mark.
Yeah. So when I went back and like re-went through the lyrics of this one, first of all, Han lists so many actual artists. It's crazy.
Wow.
So they're drawing a parallel between them as musical artists and like paint as a visual art metaphor.
Yes.
So they are painting the world with their
music,
rap, right? Okay. So,
which was I thought that they were gonna bring up that like in the first performance also had like a paint like thing. They get paintballed.
Yeah, they get paintballed, but you don't see the color,
you don't see
which
it because it's all black and white. That was so crazy, right? To be like choice. To completely remove the color.
Because I thought they were gonna show the color at the very end of the shot, and then they just did it. And I was like, "What is the point of this?"
That's what I mean. I think there's something about like Bobby's performances that are like make you get the complete opposite of what you're made to think to expect.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So Changbin, Sriracha have come up with this like beat basically and this general idea of like we all have different colors, we're artists, right? That's the concept, and then they all come in and start riffing on each other and working together. First of all, absolutely fucking loved this sequence. I loved like watching them all get excited
so
about
infectious
this, bounce ideas off each other.
Yeah, the energy's crazy.
Love it.
Yeah,
love it.
I thought this performance was really good. It's a performance. It's a kingdom performance. So like when they are brought into their verses, there's like a moment where like the camera shifts, everything shifts, and we're focusing on the next person. So I thought they did a really good job. It felt like Sriracha featuring Hongjoong and Minhyuk.
If that is my only critique of this, it does feel like they are
Sriracha
guesting on Sriracha's number.
But I think that's just inherently there because they are just so in the genes.
They work as a team.
Yeah, they work as a team.
As a unit since pre-debut.
Yeah,
like they have formed this unit for ages.
But I will say the way they show Hongjoong as a guest and Minhyuk as a guest really works. The way Hongjoong enters was full gag.
Iconic.
Huge fan. His signature laugh, all these panels, and then Minhyuk having like a full entrance.
Yeah.
I was like, ooh.
I am obsessed with Hongjoong as a rapper.
I know.
He like tickles that exact part of my brain. I also think like Han.
I know Han and Hongjoong. I think
already
for me,
did this fucking last performance with Han where I talked about how fucking incredible he
is.
His
voice, and then now it's like,
and it drives me up a wall that people like this exist out here in the world. Like it's so,
and we just want an ounce of that talent.
Anything. An ounce, a milligram. Whatever you've got.
Yeah.
I mean, it's lovely that they share it with us, but boy. It's so hard, too, because he has, I think, so I think that, like, what really works about Sriracha, again, like I was saying, is, like, they do have distinct styles.
Yeah.
You can tell when, not just, like, their voices, but I think they have individual points of view when they rap that I think is really interesting. Okay.
Well, it's like interesting because I think Bangchan is more of the producer, it feels like, and like puts everything together. And then Han and Changbin,
he like steers the ship.
Yes. And Changbin and Han really have like signature rapping.
I fucking loved this. I thought this was so good.
Yeah.
And it was so,
and it's not just the rainbows.
And it's not just the rainbows, which we do cross out. We do cross out a little rainbow.
So Changbin does cross out a rainbow. He's like, it's the America's Next Top Model, Jade, being like, no.
It's the like walking around the like rainbow sidewalk crossing.
Yes.
Like,
and
instead of walking on it, you walk around
No, I don't want to walk there.
It's a joke. I'm not insinuating. Okay. They know. I just thought this was really good.
I think
thought it
just
was very clear, and when I went back and like looked at the lyrics, I just thought they were very good at keeping in their own kind of energy.
Yeah.
While also they cohesively came together and told the same story, and it wasn't just fuck the haters, which is like just whoever.
Yeah.
It's like this idea of like we can come. It's more like uplifting.
It's more uplifting. It's like an optimistic spin on it. Yeah.
Yes.
It's a positive version.
I feel
positive
often happen in rap.
Right.
It's not super common, but like I thought it was so effective.
Yeah.
And there was so much like fun and wit in their raps that I just thought the whole performance like worked really well. Even if you were not a native Korean speaker, I feel like I watched it and I was like, got it.
I do feel like Stray Kids' like full discography so far in the show has been like inspiring, uplifting, good versus evil, and then this is like uplifting. So it's interesting that I feel like they're able to really hone in on that message in the show, because I feel like their title tracks are more about like more fuck the haters in like a fun way, which I did like that Changbin here was like, we got to do it like fun. Like he was like, we got to have fun. Let's make it witty.
Well, I wondered too if they had a feeling that the other group was gonna go in that direction.
I think so too, because they were like, look, Bobby's over there. Like he's gonna be rapper.
Right.
So we have to do it in our own way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really like this. I think it's really structured and built well, so that way each moment builds up to one another. I think Minhyuk as the last was like perfect.
Yep.
And then the full explosion at the end of like all of the think like worked so well.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I really liked this performance. I think
it did. I think it does win this round, and I think that probably is how I...
Yeah, so the final scores is 23 to Mayfly and 10 to It's One. Is that what the group's called? It's One. So yeah, they do win this round. But
I still
think the other one was good.
Yeah, I like both performances a lot. I think just one was more of a performance than the other.
Right. Let's
Dance.
go to dance. It's time to
God,
dance.
we're dancers.
Okay.
So we did watch the little performance film with the main dancers.
Yes,
in our reaction
trailer of the show.
Because in this first group, they talk about it and they watch it. So we're like, what the fuck are these? And I know people shared them. So it was our reminder to be like, okay, let's watch it. So we did watch them.
So we start with It's One. And this is I did not write the names down, which is crazy.
Juyeon.
It's Juyeon and
Taeyang and DK from
DK
ikon.
From ikon. Three of them, only three.
Yeah.
Only three.
Only three.
Dancers.
Uh-huh.
They are coming together to do a performance that they have titled The King and His Concubine, which is based on a historical story of an actual prince who
had a concubine.
Listen.
And something about like the king having like multiple personalities. Like
they've split him into three egos.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I did not know what to expect with this performance. The way they built the package is very business. Like, I think they're also like just the very introverted people, but I also am not surprised because they're the dancers. So I'm sure they were just like very focused, very disciplined.
Yes.
But like very business. Extremely like, hello, colleague.
Yes. Hello.
Excited to start this project with you.
Yes. I look forward to working well on this with you together.
Yeah, very that.
Yes.
Yeah. So I literally was like, I don't know what to expect.
No idea. It's based on Korean beauty. That's their emphasis. So, we're doing
full drag.
We're doing moisturizer. We're doing an SPF.
Yes.
We're doing a
face
mask.
Yeah. Micellar water, We're doing lip masks. It's like hyaluronic acid for the face. Whatever that ingredient is on all of the skincare.
Got it. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think of this performance? So I
can't believe I'm going to do this again.
I did not know what to expect for DK because I was like, oh, I think like
didn't either.
Icon. I think it's gonna be like hip hop based or whatever. So I'm glad that we did watch the performance film because like he choreographed that number and it's in the same vein as everyone, where it's kind of like modern, not modern, but like contemporary. I think it's more contemporary.
Yeah, verging on contemporary for sure.
So I was like, okay, because he was the one that I didn't know. Like, you have Juyeon and Taeyang, who I would say truly are like the most lyrical dancers in the show.
I would say,
like lyrical artist.
There, Juyeon. I already did this.
You already did this.
I already have done this. I believe I've done this twice now.
Yeah,
and
I think
I
it
will
continue
do it again
every time you see him dance.
I will watch him dance no matter what he is. He is so gifted.
Yeah.
Even when they're doing moves together, they all look stunning
Yeah.
in this. I was obsessed with this entire number.
Me too.
I would still find myself watching Juyeon because the way he extends,
It's graceful. Yeah.
He has this
It's
like,
so soft.
this
It's
like
so
gentle, like he can
it's like coming through his fingertips. Like the dance goes all the way out. Like with the best extensions in the whole show. Which I think really works. I think they really looked at all three of them and they're like, oh, let's lean in on like we have like unique dance styles that we are really good at, and let's lean in on that as like the three personalities of this king that we're telling. Because Taeyang is so like his isolation.
He goes mad.
He's so like he catches a fucking sword in the middle of the air and then immediately goes into position.
It's insane.
In like half like millisecond. And so that's like his thing, because like remember he like in his drag number where he like slaps someone, like he's so sharp.
Yes.
And I think DK is a little bit more of that like presence.
I thought they came in and they were like, we're going to do the kingdom assignment, which is craft a story and a narrative and tell that story.
Yeah.
And we are not going to worry about
singing, lip syncing,
or anything. We're just going to do, we're going to tell a story through dance.
Yeah.
This is Mama.
Yeah.
This is the most Mama Awards thing I genuinely think we've seen on the show. Because it was like, I think it was very specifically like the fact that it was like Korean heritage, which obviously like, I was going to say they love to do, but like obviously they love to do, like it's their culture. But like, that I think they really respect and like really want to do well with. And
it's like they know how beautiful it is.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it comes through perfectly. The story is told excellently.
Juyeon flipping a table, like a mini table.
There were like little tricks.
Yeah.
But the point of it, and I want to emphasize, the point of this was
dance.
Beautiful dance
artistry.
Period. That was the point. That is what was shown. And it was executed perfectly.
And it was successful.
Do you understand?
Because you just rewatched it, right? Was there a moment where Taeyang like lifts his like full leg up or something? Did I imagine that?
I think you just want that to happen.
I swear there was like I just remembered watching his body the entire time of just like, no, I'm thinking of his performance film.
Yes. Yeah. I thought this was like great. And like, have we seen, if you're a K-pop fan, have you seen 1,000 like times where they dress in hanbok and do the whole thing?
Absolutely.
But like, that's the point.
That's the point. To be able to
pop.
Yes, it's like, this is where we came from. This is the heritage, honey.
I hate to like do this, but like the weirdest part of like when Americans think back to like the great time, like Koreans
the great
think
generation.
Back to like the Joseon dynasty, which was like when it was like the most beautiful, and it was before like a lot of the strife or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so they go way back.
Ours is
like genuinely people go back to the 50s.
Yeah.
And that's why it's like, oh, we must return to 70 years ago. And
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know if that's... Listen, I love Greece. I don't know if I would...
I don't know if I want to go back to live as...
It's just interesting.
That.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
Okay. Anyway.
We're just a fractured little nation.
I just think about that a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why? What's going on in America today?
Nothing. Nothing. I haven't heard yet.
I haven't heard yet. I'm sure I will tomorrow. Yeah, I thought this was beautiful.
I loved this.
Yeah,
I loved this performance. Let's talk about the final performance of this episode, which is the Mayfly dance team. So this is a total of 9 members. Yeah. We've got 5 from ateez, Uyung Sungwa-san, Yosung, and Yuno. We have Penyul from btob, and then we have 3 members from Stray Kids, IN, Felix, and Lee No. They are going to do a performance to Wolf by EXO. Mm-hmm. They have decided that they're going to highlight crumping because Penyul
did a crump solo, I think, like a single where he did that in a music video.
He has a background in crumping to some degree.
Yeah, and Penyul was like, Mama, it's been years since I did that video.
And they have made him the leader, and he's very much a focal point of this performance, which is very cool.
And it's really cool to see just someone... I think it's cool that Penyul is the leader. He's obviously the Sanbei, but because I think culturally, he also grew up in America, so he's like... the first thing he did was like, let's not use honorifics. Like, guys, please, like, just call me Penyul,
Yeah.
And it's so cute because Ian, who is the magne of the whole show, is like, no, I can't do that, please. It was so cute.
Ian is just, he is that uwu baby.
He is your uwu baby forever.
He is my uwu baby. I cannot with him. Anytime they cut to him, I have like the most like, yay!
What did you think of this performance, Adam? Adam, what did you think of this dance performance? Actually, I'll start. I did not expect them to do an actual cover. I like when they were like, we're going to do Wolf by EXO. I was like, oh. I mean, yeah, I guess you just pick a song.
Because I'm sure the song from that the boys did for the King and His Concubine, I'm sure that was like an instrumental version of a song. Is my guess.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. I
did not like this.
Yeah.
This is, I think, so far what I've seen on the show, I think this is my least favorite performance.
It's so much is happening. There's so much on stage.
There are so many people on stage.
The energies are like mismatched from everyone.
I do not understand why they
put
felt
everyone.
They needed everyone to be represented, and I don't know if it's because they wanted to feel like they were all participating.
Yeah,
and I love that.
Yeah,
and they were all supporting each other, and I love that. But this is
yeah.
What I think is really strong about the other dance performance is that the 3 of them are singular dancers coming together and doing it together.
Yes.
I can watch this performance, and even without knowing, before I even knew Stray Kids, before I knew ateez, I feel like you can watch this and pick out which 5 are from one group and which 3 are from another group.
It felt like a Mama, or like a year-end Inkigayo, like...
It felt like an SBS, like Gaio.
SBS Gaio,
good. Well done.
It felt honestly, it felt like the like Enhypen TXT like dance of through the years performance.
Yes.
Where they come in, they do Candy, come in, do Bang Bang Bang, come in, do fire.
Yeah.
Like it felt like, oh, I'm just And
I think well done.
It's well done. It was just so much that I was like, I don't know if they really needed all of these tricks and stunts. And I think
here's the problem.
And I think the cover was really distracting. I really don't think they should have sung the song.
I disliked almost every single thing about this. I just felt like it's so frustrating. I was so shocked they did it this way.
Yeah.
Because all of them...
They kept every idea.
Every idea.
Every opinion was kept.
They didn't take one thing off before they left the house that morning.
They kept everything.
They kept everything on. It was just, they would just then come together and like do a group
do the
dance,
group choreo.
do the group choreo.
And then like go. Yeah.
And then do, and I don't know what was supposed to be like,
I don't know what I was supposed to
or
look
interesting
at.
or unique
I think
or thematically appropriate. And like I thought the concept of like the wolf,
of course,
and all
yeah,
the, like,
Felix being like the wolf
hearts,
coming out,
I thought all
like,
that was really cool. I loved the jumps.
Yes,
I thought that was
Peniel
very
coming
cool.
out with all of the fucking.
That was crazy. That
crazy.
Probably is my favorite part of the whole number. Is
yes,
when
and then they gave him the feature.
Peniel is a rover that you can book on rover.com.
I didn't think like the leap, like the Felix leap into Uyang really paid off. I mean, I'm glad that they did it and that it was safe, but even like the Uyang climbing up Pride Rock was like, I don't know, it just felt really messy.
It felt very messy.
I wish there was a clear build and like a clear line.
I wish they had only had like also a limited number of performers, because I feel like it was too frenzied.
Or honestly, okay, if Peniel was like, I mean, they would never do it. Like if all of the members were the dogs that came out on Peniel, like all the wolves that came out with Peniel.
Yeah, that would have been cool, actually.
That would have been cool. I wish that it was just them. I was just the 9 of them. I didn't need any of the backup dancers.
I definitely didn't need backup dancers.
Because I was like, okay,
and I definitely didn't need,
because then I couldn't tell who was the backup dancer and who was a member.
When you highlight Uyang like climbing up Pride Rock or whatever the fuck was happening, that one poor dancer at the bottom, his legs are fully shaking because he's holding like six people on top of him or whatever. And God bless him, but like I'm going to see that.
Yeah.
And like that's not even on them. That's on like
just a lot. There's a lot on the number.
Yes.
Take one thing off. It reminds me of, honestly, like, even though I said that I really liked the Jealous SF9 performance, but I was like, I think they didn't put the right focus on the right things. So I was like, oh no, I didn't need the Pride Rock. I didn't need. Yeah. I really, and I don't think the cover is that great. I'm sorry. They sound great, obviously, but I was just...
Why are you lip syncing?
Yeah.
Why are you lip syncing?
It just felt...
That is not... No one thinks you're singing. So it's weird where you already are in an industry where people accuse you of lip syncing a ton. And of course, lip syncing does happen, but like, I think artists are very sensitive to the idea of like being accused of lip syncing. So it's weird to even do this thing of being like, oh, we're just going to lip sync to this cover. You didn't have to do this cover.
Yeah.
I was so...
And when we watched it in the episode, it was like really choppy. So we did watch it as the full version, and it was better, obviously, like just to see it all complete. But even
without
then,
the reactions, yeah.
But even then, there were still a lot like they could have taken like 2 or 3 things off.
I just don't know.
In the different aspects.
I don't know what about like. On the show, I think they've really tried to show things that like elevate from the regular, ordinary K-pop performance. Yeah. And I felt like this was a cover. Standard K-pop performance that had like a cool concept and interesting tricks. Yeah. But like when they came back to just doing the dance, numbers, which is the point, and not do tricks, I was like, you're just doing regular choreography, which looks good, but like again, even in the group choreo, I could fully be like, oh, there's the Stray Kids group and there's the ateez group, like because they are so in harmony with each other because they dance with each other all the time, which I think was the smart part of splitting out for the other team, just having one individual.
One of each, so that they could fully have to create something together. Yeah. That looks good with all.
And they are all good dancers.
Yeah.
But I was like, but the challenge wasn't just be like, hey, are you a good dancer?
Do a good choreo, yeah.
Yeah. Because then you just like do a song. Yeah. Which is what they did.
I'm curious to see how they judge this one, because a lot of the dongsings were very impressed, obviously, because it's like, oh my god, our sunbaes are like dancing crazy. Yeah. But I wonder if like...
I think Peniel's crumping is really cool. Mm-hmm. I really like the bit where he comes out with the dogs. I think that's absolutely crazy. that idea is just really cool. And I think the tricks are interesting. I don't want to shit on it and be like, they were bad.
Yeah.
But they were just, that's not the point. In my
The other
opinion.
group were like dancing. Like
Correct.
they created, artistry. We'll see how this goes.
I have no idea what's going to happen. And I'm really worried.
I would be interested. I hope for the sake of good storytelling that it does go to
It's One.
It's One, so that way the vocal is the final decision maker.
Yeah. I would hope so too.
I would hope so. So
we'll see.
if you want to watch that with us next week, you can, and all the episodes of Kingdom Legendary War with us on our patreon.com/boyslove. On the bowl level, you can join our reactions to this show and Not Me, which is the other YouTube recap show that we're doing. And if you go up to the Bob level, we are currently deciding what our next show is because they get their own show just for that. So join us at the Patreon and join us here next week.